Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the IMU Board of Trustees of Electric, Water, and Communications Utility meeting. Tonight is November 13th. Monica, would you please take roll call?
Yes. Selgrade.
Present.
White.
Present.
Smith.
Present.
Roscoe.
Here.
Voice.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, first I would like to say thank you to whoever updated the clock today. That worked out nice. Okay, we'll take public comment. Anybody in the audience that'd like to step forward to the podium, please state your name, address, and topic. Moving on from that, I would take a first and second motion to review the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or discussions around the claims that were presented? Minutes from the prior meeting, other than format.
I like the format.
Did you prefer?
You know, I read the old stuff, and nobody really knows what really happened. You have to go and actually watch the videos, so I appreciate that.
You look to be noted. Any other questions or comments, updates to this? Okay. Moving on to the financial report. Mr. Shull, Ms. Longer, any comments you'd like to share?
The report that's in front of you, I think this mic is on. You got all kinds of messages. Don't lean on the podium and turn the,
Those are up there.
I can only handle one thing, not two. The financial report is for the 3 months ended September 30th. And you know, I did talk to Chris today, and I don't think there's anything really unusual. She does a really great, I think the last page is kind of like what I'd call footnotes to the financial statements. And I suppose the biggest thing is the darn capitals. You budget them for 1 year, and you do them the next year or whatever. And so that's, and the other thing would be is, I don't think we haven't gotten, I'm sure you've gotten the audit report or a draft or whatever, but the ending balances do not reflect the beginning balances on this, but I know it's coming, so, yeah.
That will be on the October report. We do have, we now have the official report, audit report. Robert will be here on the 27th of November to present that. We do have all of that wrapped up, and so we'll be able to update the financial report for October.
Other than that, I don't really have any comments.
Any questions for Doug or for Chris? Comments? Again, just to repeat what Doug said, the reporting is very helpful to be able to review it and then to see the comments, so thank you for the work you do on that. Okay, thank you. Having gone through all three, Monica, would you take roll call for approval?
Smith.
Yes.
Roscoe.
Yes.
Voice.
Yes.
Selgrade.
Yes.
And White. Yes. Thank you.
Motion is approved. Thank you. Moving on to the electric utility action items, I need a first and second motion on a resolution to approve bids for the compact loader.
So moved. Second.
Conversation.
Yeah, this is kind of what we've been talking about. We did demo all those units, got 6 bids back. As you can see, there was quite a range from top to bottom, but a lot of it come down to the trade-in value on this one.
They wanted it.
They wanted it.
So is that really the only difference between?
I mean, you still got the base costs in there. You know, Star Equipment, I didn't put down there, but, you know, they didn't totally meet the bid as far as the requirement, as far as the type of door we wanted on there. The door, the one we wanted is a hinge door to go in and out, and theirs is the pull up and over. And the ones now, when we demoed it, all I could see is a work comp claim coming because somebody's going to throw a shoulder out trying to pull this thing up or push it down. So,
how old is the one you're trading in?
It's a 2011. It's got just almost 1,900 hours on it. It's a track unit as well. We call it a track. It's a track skid loader is what it is. But they just double checked with him today, and it actually showed up there at their one location. If this is the way we go,
So it is
So
available.
it's available. It'd probably take a couple weeks for them to get everything done on it and be ready to be delivered.
Okay.
Did you have any warranty things put into your,
So you get the standard warranty with this. That would be the only other thing that we could add to this if we wanted to add an extended warranty. There's the
I know
option.
sometimes you add, and I just didn't know, I was
Yeah,
curious.
I didn't on this one, just, it's 2-year warranty with it, so I figured after 2 years, we're probably gonna know what we want for another, I think it's like another $3,300 to go on further out. I think I'd rather bank that money and roll the dice. And if we,
And is this Van Wall locally, or is it a different location?
so the sales rep that we use, his office is in Knoxville, which is also Van Wall, but he's in Indianola.
Was there anything driving, or did you do any, like, why would Murphy only give 20 versus 34 for Brand Wall? I mean,
Just two different companies for sure. I mean, he did call and he's just like, I can't touch that type of deal on the trade-in.
Probably
That's what
philosophy.
there
most,
were those conversations.
yeah, I mean, that's, most of them were just kind of floored at that trade-in value that they
Must have wanted
offered,
it.
yeah.
Must have had a customer.
Yeah, it may be sold already if they get it, so.
Okay. Any questions for Mike? Other conversations? With that, Monica, would you take the roll call for approval?
Yes, Selgrade,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Rosca,
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution is approved to move forward. We have a discussion and direction on the mean exhibit. Chris, you want to talk through that?
Yes, so in your packet is a letter we received from Mean, and our Mean contract allows for, kind of like a negative confirmation, whereby the board of directors has purchased a solar installation that Mean will own and operate, and this letter is giving us our notification that we have 60 days to elect out of that if we so choose. This project doesn't extend any of our Mean obligations. It's all, an interim agreement. It doesn't push anything out, and it doesn't materially change our obligations for whatever the restoration and some of those tougher to define items. Staff's recommendation is going to be to not take any action on this letter. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer those, but I do think this is a good project, and it is a good portion of, or a good for the Mean portfolio, and there's no reason to elect out of it or create a separate set of, if we disagree with this or didn't want to proceed or take any ownership interest in this, we would have kind of separate segregated rates that would calculate on the outside of that, so.
Will those lower our power costs?
It is very similar to ours, that it is coming in at those wholesale costs. Now, they did do that, they do have a 3% adder on that, and so initially there's very little to a small decrease in it, and 3%, depending on what your rate of inflation expectation. If you think the conventional methods will inflate more than that, it will have a positive effect. But if you think the long-term on coal is less than 3%, then it could have some long-term pressures. I think the 3% is below historical averages. We've got every reason to expect that this will have a positive effect on future rates.
I think the thing for me, as I was talking with Chris this morning, is I interpreted as that we were approving it. By not signing it, we're approving it. So everybody's on the same page from that standpoint.
Yeah, so no action, or if after discussion you guys don't want to do anything, we would take part in it. If you want to object, that's where we could bring that forward, and at our next meeting, we'd have a resolution to formally reject this if you so choose.
What would be the reason you would reject it?
If you perhaps didn't like the obligation, if that long-term, other purchases like this that might be for a 100-year project could extend our obligation, and you might want to say, we're good with our current obligation, and we don't want to take on any of the future risk. But like I said, this project is a relatively short-term, it's a 25-year project, and it's going to fit within the current existing end caps, and does positively diversifies our portfolio, so,
It aligns with our strategies.
yeah, precisely.
Other questions or discussion for this topic? Otherwise, we'll move on with no action. Okay. Mike, electric utility informational items?
Yep, so kind of a follow-up to the West Iowa sub, where we lost that, ended up losing one of the breakers out of that substation. We have since been able to re-energize that substation and got one of the breakers to take some of the feeders out of our downtown plant on that. So we're continuing to try to source the material. Our one supplier out of Wisconsin that we typically can call on, he has everything. Like this summer, he got tired of holding on to stuff like this. That he does not have it now. He threw it away. So, unfortunately,
Say he gave it to us.
well, that would have been great. But he has some sources as well that he's going to reach out to and try to help us. It's not like the only thing is it's going to probably take a little longer to find that. So we'll keep working at that and trying to find it. But I feel good right now with the temperatures and where our loads are at, that we've kind of got things stabilized and in a good spot for right now. Turbine 7, we ran that as part of our quarterly exercise last week. It did end up needing to shut it down a little early due to we had a coolant leak. So we've got to try and find that coolant leak wherever that's at. That could be a fairly significant job for us to tackle to get to the radiator system on that. The intake would have to totally come off to get to that possibly.
You have to manually find out. There's nothing electronically.
No, it'll be, we're going to introduce air into that system and try to find the leak and see how much of it we got to tear apart to fix that. If we got to do we're talking like we'll have to bring in a crane to take part of the intake down. Yeah, whether or not, and we'll have to evaluate whether or not we'll have the capability to get that done in a day's time. But a crane sitting here, it's going to be cheaper to source somebody else to come in and get that done in a timely fashion. So we'll evaluate it more.
Impact that? I mean, if it got bad, would that impact our ability to do that?
To what? I'm sorry.
Weather?
As far as be able to run, or
Or just to be able to find the leak?
no, I don't think so. I think right now we're all right. If we can find it here in the next 3 weeks, I'm hopeful. And to be honest, I think we're going to put air to it maybe tomorrow, for sure by Wednesday. So we'll have a little better idea maybe. And if we can't find it, then we'll have to move on to another option to try and locate
So
it.
does that mean we did not meet the requirement?
No, I mean, it's just a quarterly exercise. It wasn't official urge test or anything like that, just part of our standard quarterly run. We were supposed to run for 2 hours, we ran just short of an hour.
So probably good we ran it and found it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing we got it found, and we got this, if we were gonna be down at any point in time with it, this is the best time of year to be down with it. So we'll keep working at that. Give you an update on South K Street. My understanding is they are still trying to move forward with at least the intersection of K and 92. It's not been officially approved. We don't have the official drawings for it or anything like that, but I did reach out to our engineer to give us an estimated what those costs would entail. Right now, he's estimating $300,000 worth of material and about $450,000 worth of contract labor to do that work. So we're looking about $750,000. Now, that we don't know 100% sure on those numbers because we don't have a set of drawings for them to totally design. We're kind of taking a guess at this right now. That number could go up, could go down. I'm hoping it goes down.
So timing-wise, is it in the 24?
So my understanding right now is they're still looking at January, February to bid the project out. And then once they get bids back, and then once it's approved, then we would have to go out for bid to get that work done. Just because right now we're still trying to get Hillcrest done in the downtown, we just don't have the resources to still get that done. But as far as I know, that's gonna be a next year project, for them at least. And then, the south part of K Street, I think would be, an alternate option to that bidding process when they did that. But we've got to get a full set of plans, be able to send it to our engineer to totally design, make sure everything's good.
What's the purpose of doing, just the intersection and not?
They applied for a grant, and they got a grant for that intersection as well, like 200,000, I believe.
So are they redesigning the intersection, or they're just replacing?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some turn lanes as well added as part of that, so that kind of encroaches over to where our pole line's at, but my understanding is the trail is out as part of the rework. Yeah, so, yep.
So our $750 million, is that moving poles on underground, or?
Yep, that'd be moving the poles underground, just at, so if you go down almost to West Road Shopping Center, where the overhead stops down there, it underground all the way there to, in front of, pretty much J Street, in front of Linden West. Kind of get all that underground in there.
So you're going quite a ways east and west from that intersection?
We gotta go east probably a couple hundred feet, but we gotta go a lot further west. And the main reason is, it just didn't, as I worked with our engineer, it doesn't make sense to be overhead, we're underground, we jump up overhead for a block and a half, then jump down underground. It just makes a lot more sense to get it done and get it out of there, so.
So you mentioned Hillcrest. What's kind of, when is that supposed to be opening and?
Yep, I think Hillcrest here, within the next couple of weeks, it's supposed to open up. I know they're trying to finish up a few things.
Is our obligation out there done, Mike?
So our obligation isn't totally until next year, but we're out there right now trying to get as much as we can.
Jump on phase 2, isn't that what you're?
Yeah, we're on phase 2, and then the
So I'm
city.
just looking at it from a resource perspective and saying,
Yeah, I think that's one reason we're jumping on it now. I'm trying to get a jump start, so next year I can use our resources to tackle the downtown square. Plus, I don't know if you've seen, there's several possible new developments that would like to come to Indianola. There's different sections that we've seen. I know I've got one developer that's got 2 lots that's looking to move forward fairly soon, so I'll have a crew totally dedicated to possibly new installs next year as well.
Is different than the things that are going to planning and zoning?
One of them's the one that went to Plains. I don't know what all they sent there. I just, the ones that come across. Yeah, there's some nice sized developments possibly would come into town.
Progress.
yeah, Mike, when we were talking the other day, we had that quick little board meeting. And that was right after the outage.
Yep.
You had indicated that our underground project, as we progress with that, is going to take stress off of the system. That's my word, not yours. I guess how much of that will relieve that? And is there anything else that we could be doing, should be doing? And anyway, I'll let you answer that.
So the downtown square is off of that, is off the downtown plant. So once we start converting those over, and the customers that go up First Street from pretty much from the movie theater, once we cut those over, I think that entails like 3 of the feeders out of the downtown plant we could eliminate. So if we can get that load off of there, we're just trying, it's kind of like a balancing act. The plant's got a lot more load up there, and our one over by Simpson's can only handle this much. And we're trying to bring that down here to where we can push load back and forth between the 2 substations. So once we get that done, like I say though, that's at least another couple years down the road. By the time we get, next year's still gonna be mainly all conduit, trying to tear up the alleys, because now when we get into those quarter alleys, that's just us only. We gotta be the ones to tear it up, dig it out, put the conduit in, backfill, pour the concrete back.
So you're not sharing the work with
We're not
anybody?
sharing the workload, so some of that we're gonna have to, and chances are what we'll do is we'll contract out the concrete work, just so we can keep our crews busy, trying to get doing the other stuff and not trying to save money on the concrete.
Well, either that or grow.
Yeah, that's so,
Because
I mean,
I thought once upon a time you had talked about
yep, so
kind of getting
ultimately.
a dedicated crew to hammer that underground.
Yeah, well, and ultimately, I think to get where we need to go, ultimately, I think we need to have two of those crews, just be totally construction crews. And right now, the one crew, and I've got those two crews, however, I've got to break them off because our service crew that does locate, service work, anything else, the small little street lighting stuff, there's only two people that take care of that. But if I can add two, I'd have another full crew that you could back. That crew could then deviate and take care of some of those other bigger projects that I'm pulling these other, I'm gonna call them construction crews. I've got to pull them off to go take care of some of these other projects. For instance, we had a new house going in down on South G. Had to pull a crew off to go do that. I could have probably said to that service crew, see, this is your project, get it fit in. It might take us an extra few days to get it done by doing it that way, but I think we can at least then keep these crews.
You're not going from here to there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a mobilization for us. I mean, I totally understand. You get the contractors and why your mobilization cost so much. You just lose a lot of time by changing projects and moving things from one to the other.
So if you think about adding a crew, remind us on how many manpower resources you need on that.
Total, when it's all said and done, will be 2 more.
Is there any look at hiring laborers? Because I know we dig in for water, fair amount that has to be, and sometimes those sit for a while. You're talking about a lot of concrete work. Is there thought of just getting laborers, or is it wintertime they would just be sitting? And then what about a potential of working with the city, because they got the street crew, about subcontracting them out for some of that stuff, or do they have that availability?
By all instances, they're as busy as they, want to be, and they're looking to add there. They have not, in any discussions, there's been no hint that might have been an option to look at. It is, I think everyone's busy on their own projects.
So Mike, we talked about some of the strategy. Are you guys working on building this into budget?
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Other questions for Mike or other discussion points? Okay, thank you. Justin, water utility informational items.
Well, I'll keep mine short and sweet.
So you think?
Yeah. No, we hopefully by the end of this week, the west side alley, we should be done with water. We did our pressure test and everything today. We'll take bacteria samples tomorrow, and then once that's done, they should be able to transfer services over.
So does that, just so I am clear on what that means that we've made the cutover and they're able to use the new lines to each of those businesses?
Yes, yep, yeah. So the north half of that alley is done already, so they're just focusing on that south half. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this week we can get those.
And will that cause any outages to the businesses?
Very minimal. I think when they did the north half, they were 15, 20 minutes up east, so yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and the contractor, they're very good at working with the businesses, and then we also go in there and make sure all the lines are flushed out and no air, dirty water, so. The industrial part, we did the final walkthrough on that. That's all done on the water side, and then as well as the first phase of Hillcrest, we did the final walkthrough on that. So for water projects, we're buttoning up for the year, and then other than that, just normal.
So will you have work to do in phase 2 of Hillcrest, or you're by saying what you just said, you're done and out of there?
Nope. So we'll have some work to do.
Okay.
Or the contractors will do it, but we'll have to for shutdowns
Some
and stuff.
water work.
Yep.
For sure.
That's on the contractors.
Okay. Because they've gotten a pretty good start on that phase two. I have no idea what all entails just driving out there. There's a lot of work that's been done.
Yes, yeah, well,
Okay.
but, yeah, other than that, normal business.
Questions, discussion points for Justin? We haven't had any main breaks in the last little bit, I know. But the one I saw by A&W, you guys were preparing all the concrete, so I was hoping that's that.
We just had 2 today.
Okay.
So, we did have a good, probably week and a half, 2
Had a
weeks
good run?
stretch, and then today not so much, so.
Okay. And so were they repairable or were they?
Repairable, yeah, and the 2 today were both circular brakes, so it's just, basically that's the ground's shifting and it's
So dry.
It's very dry, yeah. But unfortunately, with the aging infrastructure, we're
kind of at that risk, aren't we?
yes.
So we talked last week in our brief meeting with Mike, asked him if there were something that you need from us. I'm going to ask you the same question with these breaks. Is there something that you need from the board to support you in moving through those?
No. I mean, it's just basically, we can only...
No kidding.
Say, give you a shovel.
Moisture.
Yeah. No, not really.
Okay. It's just, you really can't predict where it might happen either, can you?
Nope, not at all. Nope. So it's part of it.
Okay. I'll let you get off. Okay. Kurt, communication action items.
Yeah, no action items, but just the informational item there on the discussion about a fourth-time field tech person. We found out since we started taking over locates here in July that we're a little short-staffed trying to get stuff done for outside plant stuff. So we kind of ran some numbers, took a look at what we've been doing. We've been scheduling about 28 hours a week right now for locating. That seemed to have worked pretty good through the later summer and fall. My concern is our big months are April, May, June. I think we're probably going to have somebody go full-time during those months. We see, I think last April we had 400 locates that came through on the fiber side. And with that too, our area is expanding with the new Pella route, things along those lines. Today even just we have 5 locates we have to clear for tomorrow in Marion County, so it's going to take a half hour just to drive to them, get them cleared out and back, so that they're just going to take a little bit longer. Obviously Norwalk's had a project going up there south of Bedwell's place, and we have to locate up there. That's where our plant ends up there, so we're going that direction as well. So we're just getting stretched out a little bit farther. It's taking a little bit more time, and what we really find is if I've got anybody off vacation or out sick, it gets really, really tight. Took a look at installs. We did 879 installs in the last 12 months. 336 of those were new ones. So that means 543 were just people moving around, which I've always said amazes me how much people move, but they do. So, and that's with higher interest rates right now too. I'm a little concerned that, all of a sudden interest rates go back down. We could see lots of people moving and stuff like that. So
Actually, I've heard that the moves aren't really slowing.
yeah, I was amazed by that number when Sky ran the report, and that's what we had. But it explains a lot too. Like I said, it's really hard to find 2 guys with 4 hours side by side or a full day where we actually go out and get outside plant stuff done. We haven't been able to move on the MDUs like I was hoping to, because again, I need 2 guys out there working on stuff like that. So it's just been a struggle to staff that at this point. I think we've just grown to the point where we need a 4th person.
So a couple questions.
Yep.
I support you. We've talked about this in strategy, the staff and the size, timing of when you think you need to move to that, and budget dollars to support it.
Yeah, and timing actually moved up a little bit because I'm also expecting to have one of my guys, my existing guys now, out for a medical leave. That's going to be an extended leave, at least 90 days. It could go longer than that. So that's
starting now.
This starting probably in January is what we're anticipating. So again, slower time for us. It won't be quite as bad, but that's why I was trying to move on stuff now, just because getting into the holidays, November. If I can get somebody on board by January, we're probably doing pretty good. But that then allows us time to get them ramped up, and then by the time March, April hits, we're going pretty good.
What do you anticipate hiring would look like on a candidate like this? Is it a short window? Do you think you could reach people in
I don't know, it's really tough to tell. We've had, I mean, I haven't done a ton of hiring on my side, so I don't know what's gonna be out there. Again, the holidays concern me just with everything going on, everybody seems to be busy, it's always tough this
Nobody
time
wants to
of
move
the
at
year.
holiday time.
But I know, Mike, you've had, positions open for extended periods of time before we find somebody that's the right fit, so that's also my concern. It takes 3-4 weeks to get that person in the door, then by the time you onboard them and stuff like that. The nice part is it's a position that can be taught, so I don't necessarily have to have somebody with a full-blown skill set. It's just gotta be a good fit, for the department. So
And you'll
that'll
have
make it a little bit easier for us.
You'll
so.
have the resources available to teach those, that's not the one that's
Yeah,
gonna be out.
nope, yeah, I've got the other two guys, so that'll be fine, so. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, budget, I'm sorry. Assuming that we do get an extended time off for the one person, obviously that'll be covered under, that pay will be covered under, short-term disability. So we're anticipating that the 2024 budget would be an increase of about $11,000, and then $86,000 for 2025, which I was already kind of have those numbers penciled in anyway, so, but.
And that ties into what I was gonna ask about longer-term strategy and,
Yeah.
Hopefully reducing your negative reserves over time, and it can't be all at once.
Sure.
Making progress on
Yeah.
that. Does that, with that additional position, does that still give you the ability to do that?
Yeah, I think we'll still be in a good spot to do that. And again, I hope then we can, again, move more on some of those MDU places that we haven't gotten into yet, which would then also affect the revenue side of it as well. So, I mean, if I can find people to get out there and we get those wired up, then we can start providing services to those units, so. And there is demand. We do get calls.
That's my
so.
question, do we have demand?
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah, so. Yeah, I think the MDU demand is there, and those are kind of, they take a lot of labor, but, when you divide that labor over 30, 40 potential customers, they are a high value or a quick value add, but unfortunately, the type of resources that it takes, we can't do that yet. So, to the long-term prospects, MDUs are great for the long-term, a little rough in the short-term, and I think this kind of bridges that gap. We'll have to spend a little bit, for the ability to get to the MDUs, it'll be worth it.
Do we need to approve anything to?
I didn't see a resolution.
Yeah, I think I was just looking for direction. If everybody's agreeable to this, I can go ahead and post the job, we can get it posted, and then bring back something formal, when we get ready to hire the position, if that works for you.
Is that how we've handled the others? I don't remember.
Yeah, just, we're looking for, don't wanna have somebody hired and then have reservations.
Do you
so-
all have general support?
Yes.
So I'd say
Good.
get to look at.
Perfect, thank you. So, then the other else I've got, Pella routes nearing completion. We finally got the line in under beach. They're working on the final testing. They had some issues with the initial splicers, so they brought in a different splicing crew. They were in on Friday working, and back today, but I think they're really close to getting everything done. So fingers still crossed that we'll get possession of that line, hopefully by the end of this week or early next week. We are ready to go with our OTN setup stuff, so we're just waiting on that to be completed so we can continue on with the transport project. So.
Did we get the beach controversy already?
Yeah, it's done. Yep, they went under in the middle of the road down there. So yeah, we have the fiber is complete end to end now. So yeah, it shoots 250,000 feet. So it's good. So yeah, once they clean up some of the splices, we should be good. So we're close. Then otherwise, just end of the season work. Site surveys are still strong. We're doing 11 site surveys this week. So I don't know if it's just end of the season, everybody's trying to get it in before the snow flies or what, but that's good, and we've done 35.
You say site surveys, those are totally new?
Totally new customers, yep.
How much of that is like north to the, how's that been
and I was
going?
looking today, none. These are all still in town stuff right now, so. We did pick up, I have to go back and look, 9, 10 people out north, so we've had decent response out there. And I think we'll get even more come this spring, again, once the word of mouth gets out there a little bit more too, so, yeah.
So how many of these 879 installs, you said 336-ish were new?
Yep.
Are they residential homes, or are they multi-family dwellings?
Yeah, a bit of everything. So, but yeah, just places where we have not had service before. So, I would say that most of them are the residential houses. Again, we haven't really gotten into any more MDUs, but there are a few MDUs out there where we continue to hook up new customers as well. So, yeah.
other questions for Kurt? So the same question, do you need anything from the board today other than what we just talked about?
Nope, I think this will help a lot, so.
All right, moving on to the combined electric, water, and communication action items. I need a first and second motion on a resolution setting public hearing for the budget amendment. So moved.
Second.
Okay, conversation, discussion resulting.
Yes, this is just to set the public hearing date for December 11th to amend the current fiscal year 24 budget. Most of what's being amended are projects, expenses that were included in the fiscal year 23 budget that just got rolled over into this year due to, well, construction projects. There's all sorts of reasons why those got pushed into this fiscal year. But so the resolution tonight is just setting the public hearing date for December 11th, where we will actually hold a public hearing and you will approve or not approve the amendment to the fiscal year 24 budget. Also at that meeting, that's typically been the meeting where we do bring the capital budget for your review. So there, will be some discussion on that. But for tonight, it's setting the date for that public hearing for the amendment.
When we have that in December, will we have some input from what the city is anticipating from their capital budget planning? Or are we talked about that being delayed and we're still under that plan?
Yeah, I mean, we got some ideas of some stuff that might be happening, but it's, high, at the city level, it's high conceptualization. I mean, no
So
concrete
we're still on
plans.
target for what they talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, that's what we have in the capital budget right now. If things change, I think, is it in February, we typically approve our final budget, and I think we have is it a couple more weeks now for this next year in that process? So we'll have a couple extra weeks, if anything changes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the city's budget has been pushed back a month from its traditional March 15th, and, working with Andy, I think we'll be able to push our deadline back to them a little bit further and be able to, utilize that extra time to get a little more planning and accuracy within that budget.
Okay. Other questions for Chris related to the public hearing? Okay, Monica, would you please take roll call on approval for that?
Smith.
Yes.
Rosca.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Selgreg.
Yes.
White.
Yes. Thank you. Motion is approved. We'll have the public hearing on the 11th of December. I need a first and second motion on the resolution amending section 6.9 wellness program in the employee handbook.
So moved.
Second.
Chris, you want to talk through that?
At their last meeting, or at their special meeting right before the elections, the city council amended their handbook to include council people and trustees as eligible participants in the Wellness Center program. This amendment to our employee handbook is mirroring that and allowing for those trustees to receive part-time, the benefits of a part-time employee, which in this case would be a single membership, contribution towards a single membership if you so choose.
Effective January 1.
It will be effective January 1st.
So it's really just the third bullet underneath that was voted.
Yeah,
That's the only change.
yeah, I think so.
I think they added some, on the part-time, they did also add that they have to work 4 hours a month to be eligible, so we included that as well.
Questions related to the updates or the allowance? Okay. Monica, would you take a roll call, please, on approving that?
Boyce.
Yes.
Selgreg.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Rosca.
Yes.
Thank you.
That resolution has approved to adopt into the handbook. I need a first and second motion to the consideration of approval for the vendor with Salvation Army to provide assistance to certain IMU customers when requested.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any additional conversation or questions about that?
No, nothing's changed in it. We just had them sign. Because we just did it for 6 months the first time,
Mhm.
so.
Do we have a sense for how much it was leveraged?
I would say maybe 10 times.
So a handful of times.
Yeah. And we've gotten a couple more within the last couple months, so.
And has the process between our two groups gone well? Has there been something that we've needed to change or improve?
Nope. They usually will call us or sometimes they'll email us.
Okay.
And then they've been getting us the payment on time, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions for Alicia on the Salvation Army assistance? Okay. With that, Monica, would you take roll call? Oh, I guess this is a simple motion.
Simple motion, please.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This motion has carried. The combined electric, water, and communication informational items. Chris, any additional?
Yeah, just, I think we kind of mentioned here and there, we're deep into the budget process, and so thanks everyone again for your work. This one's a little unique in that, we're working on this budget amendment as well as the new budget, so it's been a little more work and dedication, but that is all going well. Wednesday and Thursday, I will be out at Maine for their board of directors meeting. We'll be talking about final versions of the proposed new contract. So after, my expectation is that'll be voted in on and it will go through at that next meeting. So we'll have something official to work with. Our attorneys reviewed it and had some comments, and we got a lot integrated that I think will be helpful in the future. We lost out on some other things. So I guess kind of that when nobody's happy, it's the best possible deal. I think that's where we'll be with that. So look for that in the future. They're expecting or hoping that between the finalize it at the next meeting, they'll have those out and executable agreements between January and March of next year. That might be a little optimistic, but we'll have this conversation in a little more detail. Steve Nadel can then kind of review changes, what's updated, what we work towards, and maybe what we didn't get integrated in at that time.
Any updates or changing subjects on our solar installation and progress there?
Have a meeting on, I guess it would be Thursday after our board meeting. The group of main participants will be getting a update from Sandhills at that point. We did have a couple small things. They did our executed agreement. They misspelled or miscommunicated the company involved, so we'll need to re-sign those. It was a relatively minor agreement, but it'll be, we should see that, and I should get that on Thursday. So I'll be in communication. We'll finalize that.
From the communication that was sent 2 times ago, I think, with the billing on the update on the solar piece, I actually received several comments about the progress on that. So kudos on the article that went out. And maybe just a quick conversation about Gradient 9, and are they moving forward as planned? How are we feeling about their involvement?
I think there was a little more work up front getting them off, but over the past month, or at least the last month, I think I would say that worked like I had hoped this would all along. So it would appear we've kind of smoothed everything out, and all those updates are going out, and they're taking charge, and really liked how those flyers have turned out. It's definitely a little different look and feel, and maybe more graphic-based and less text-based, but I think that has been effective in getting some of the information out to people that might not want to sit down and read an article per se.
So a question then came up on our website, and maybe some potential automation and updating on that. Will they help us? Have we engaged them on that as well?
Yeah, we got, they have a number of suggestions, or we're starting down the path of how we'll incrementally improve that. I think that went out to the department heads. We haven't talked about, what works and
But
what
it's on our
doesn't,
roster to
but,
do.
yeah, that process has started, and, they've got some, nothing is gonna be, we're not near a full rewrite of anything by any means, but, they do have the next 6 months worth of incremental improvements and, small progress, but, it's definitely, progressing faster than it had previously.
And quality seems to be a little stronger. Any other questions or comments for Chris? Okay. If not, we need a first and second motion to enter into closed session in accordance with Iowa Code 388.9, applicant season 1, to discuss marketing and pricing strategies and proprietary information of the telecommunications division, whose competitive position will be harmed by public disclosure that is not required of potential or actual competitors, and no public purpose is served by such disclosure.
Second.
All right, we'll be heading into closed session. Thanks, everybody.
Question. So item B is resolution allowing general manager to authorize sign transmission of blah, blah, blah. But we can't do business in closed session.
No, we'll come out of closed session. We'll do this, and then we'll close meeting. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great holiday, and enjoy your short week next week.
Is next week Thanksgiving already?
It is.
Holy smokes.
I know, the weather does not help that. And I need a first and second motion back in regular meeting on a resolution allowing the IMU general manager authorization to sign retransmission agreements through June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Chris, Kurt, any conversation around that?
Just over the next couple of months, we're negotiating a lot of retransmission agreements, and our expectation is a lot of those come down to the last minute, where it would be difficult, if not impossible, to convene a Board of Trustees meeting. Given our pricing strategies, we think it is safe to allow one of us to sign that agreement.
Not one of you. It looks like you are the only one we're approving.
Well, okay, yeah, but specifically.
Kurt's going to make the recommendation and you're going to sign it.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay.
And we can, obviously before we have any rate-related discussions, those will happen in a different process, but in order to keep our customers connected, this, I think, is our recommended option.
Business as usual. Questions or discussion around that on that one? Concerns? I'll take a roll call. Wait. Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah. White?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that has approved. Any other topics before we leave meeting?
Kurt, I'm curious. Here a few months ago, we started introducing, I'm not going to use the right terminology, but some new boxes and different things, give us the ability to do like Wi-Fi 6 and some other things like that.
Yep.
How is that going? How are our customers responding? Is that something they're eager for, or not so much?
We haven't pushed the upgrading the existing customers a whole lot just because of time constraints, but all new customers since July have been getting the new devices, been working good. I ran numbers the other day. I think we've got almost 350, 400 out already. So yeah, everybody seems to like them. They've got better, the radios in them are definitely better. We get better coverage for the Wi-Fi, which is nice, and things like that. So
better coverage in the
house,
residences?
yeah, it's just got a
And
little
is
better
that
radios.
residential or is it business that has made that improvement?
Mostly residential, but if there is a new business customer, we've been installing there as well, and again, if we find some time where we get some time on the timeline to do some marketing, we'll go ahead and push that out to the existing customers and try to get them to upgrade as well, but it does take a tech role
Does it say as
right
long
now
as you
to
have staff to do it?
Exactly, so we've been trying to balance that, so.
Other questions for Kurt or Chris? I would take a motion to adjourn. First and second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is closed. 6:26.